Yo, what's going on guys? HyperX here. Welcome back to another video for Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, and today I want to talk about one of the new systems introduced in Sunbreak, which is Rampage Decorations. This is an incredibly cool new addition, something that basically adds a layer to our weapons, to our builds, that effectively allows us to work some additional skills in that were previously tied to the Rampage weapon system. So, if you guys do enjoy this, a like would be super appreciated. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have explored this system already. Let me know if you found you like so far. And also, what are you guys thinking of Sunbreak at the moment? How far are you in the game? What have you been up to? And are you enjoying your time? So, to begin with, again, as a quick recap, this is a new system that a lot of you guys are going to be happy about because it increases build diversity. It'll impact your gameplay through Master Rank all the way to end game, and the system can completely change your build and create more focused opportunities. Rampage skills, as a reminder, were originally introduced in Rise, and they were skills that would augment weapons to add additional skills that usually weren't available from the normal decoration pool. These skills could provide offensive, defensive, or utility to builds. And previously, Rampage skills were typically limited to one skill per weapon because, of course, how powerful they could be, aside from, specifically, the Rampage weapons, which allowed you to have multiple Rampage skills on them, and this therefore gave you some pretty good customization options. Additionally, they later on added the ability to layer those Rampage weapons, so it did really allow you to sort of create a weapon of your choosing to a degree. However, they of course mentioned in Sunbreak, Rampages would not be making a return, which I'll be honest, I'm not too sad on. If you want to do Rampages, you can always go back to Rise, but they were a little bit long and drawn out. So, in this new system, in Sunbreak, they introduced Rampage Decorations, which allowed them to bring that mechanic forward without having to do more Rampages, and of course with more flexibility. In Master Rank, you can now create decorations for the Rampage skills, which can be slotted into other weapons and are not restricted to a single weapon on the weapon tree. This gives you much more freedom to creating builds, and means you can create builds that focus on particular Rampage skills. So far in our playtime, which admittedly is quite far, we've got sort of pretty high into Master Rank, completed the story, got almost to Master Rank 100, and currently we've only found weapons that have one Rampage slot, so it's unclear at this stage whether there will be ones later on that potentially have two, so you can then have two different skills. As it currently stands, they do just have one. It is also worth noting that some of the gems are still restricted to a particular weapon type, such as the Switcher Jewel only being able to be applied to switch axes, which of course makes sense because some of those skills are specifically for those weapon types, so there's no point putting a switch axe skill on, say, the dual blades. You get access to Rampage Decorations after unlocking the smithy in Elgato, and you start off with a pretty limited set, but defeating more monsters will unlock new Rampage gems as you go, much like you encounter decorations organically as you fight more monsters and progress through the game. Rampage Decorations also have different slot sizes, so you will only be able to slot the better skills into weapons that have bigger size Rampage slots, much like with armor decorations and decoration slots, so the behaviour is largely speaking the same. To create those decorations, you will of course need to use the smithy, as the decorations are forged using both the jewels, which are dropped on the quest reward screen, and the monster parts. Honestly, this is a really cool system, and I genuinely do like this a lot because the skills are much less restricted now to some of the weapon types, and this of course will then massively benefit those weapons. There were definitely some skills in, say, base Rise that were really cool, but they were tied to very specific weapons, so having the opportunity to sort of move them around is really cool. A few examples of some of those ones that stood out to us. You have something like the Raging Jewels. This is Raging Jewels 3. This gem is the Hellion mode Rampage skill. If you guys remember the dual blades, the cat claws specifically, that had the Hellion skill, this is a fantastic skill, and of course previously it was only on the cat claws. Now it's a Rampage decoration, meaning you can put it on different dual blades, and this was almost a must-have for dual blade builds given how good it was. This is also an example of one of those Rampage skills that can only be applied to one weapon, i.e. the dual blades, but again, this is a huge improvement on before. Hellion mode, of course, the one whereby when you attack in demon mode, it increases weapon affinity but also doubles sharpness degradation. A couple other examples, you have, say, the Daura Soul Jewel, which of course was previously available on the Master Rank Kushala weapons, and this one gradually increases affinity by continuously landing hits on foes in a short space of time. The increase in this was actually pretty big, 25% more affinity after 4 hits, and the buff remains active if you're continually hitting, so it's great for fast hitting weapons. Of course, this then begs the question, does this stack with things like Chain Grip, which is a new introduction? There's lots of testing that needs to be done. But as you can begin to see, there are definitely some really cool decorations. And again, there are still more to encounter. As you fight more monsters, as you progress in the game, as you unlock more monster parts, this list keeps growing. And of course, I imagine it will grow additionally in future DLCs. So there's lots to be excited for. But for the time being, that's a quick rundown on the new Rampage Decorations system. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys have any questions. Let me know if you are using any really cool Rampage decorations already. And of course, do be sure to keep it locked for plenty more. If you've missed some of our recent videos, you can check out one of these ones on screen. And do keep it locked because we have a ton more Monster Hunter content coming your way.